minutes there. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot to switch the audio back on. So, ninth floor. Kev, how you doing, bud? I've been chatting with you on and off on Facebook, mate. I didn't realise it was you. You can keep yourself hidden there for some reason. So, anyway, before I get back to today, we had that nice downtrend, didn't we? And it was pushing down there like this. And I was looking for a trade. I was looking for a trade around about here. I think it was that one. I can't remember now. But I had luckily, because I had my short opened up here well out the way. Was it here? No, it was further on, wasn't it? It was around about 3 something. So it was around about here. I was looking for a short. And my internet died. So straight away I jumped on my phone, went on to the Apex page and clicked flatten. Now, the timestamp says it flattened 3 minutes later. Well, I came back. My internet came on 45 minutes later, and the trade was still there. So I don't know what's going on there. So I know Daryl Martin put something on. He says you can download the app, the Rhythmic app, and flatten it direct from the app. So I'm going to have to look into that, because this is something that could catch any of us out at any time. So I was absolutely frustrated because we had this lovely downward stuff. So I got into a trade. It looked like we had 2 legs up. I got into a trade here somewhere, and it started to reverse. And what I did on my newest account, the other 2 were doing okay. My newest account, I jumped in with 4 contracts. Don't ask me why. I just jumped in. I tried to get a bit of a boost. And because I was frustrated I missed the trade, I'm thinking we got a lovely downtrend here, and it started to reverse on me. So I ended up blowing the one account, and out of sheer frustration, I got the other account and tried to, and you know the story, I ended up completely spiraling. So I went downstairs, drank about half a bottle of whiskey, and was right pissed off. What can you do? So I had to have yesterday off. So I had to do a little bit of soul searching and a bit of thinking what the hell to do. Now, what I tend to do when I have moments like this, I tend to do a little bit of searching around YouTube for a little bit of help or advice or just stuff like that. And I thought, okay, one thing I think it's fair for me to say, if I can't manage to build one account and hold one account, I've really got no business doing 2, 3, 4 or 5 or whatever numbers, because it doesn't really make sense. Now I'm not to saying if anybody else is getting multiple accounts, that's fine. It's all, it's a personal choice. But I'm thinking if I can't focus on one and get one to work, I shouldn't really be getting more than one, should I? So I had this one that was due to go live this morning. And I thought, okay, I'll make a plan. So I decided to go back to 2 contracts, because I don't necessarily think it's the contract size that's my problems. You've still got to lose 8 trades in a row to blow a 50k count with 2 contracts. Now, if I'm blowing 8 in a row, I'm clearly not fit to trade anyway. So it does seem to take such a lot of time to build an account up with 1 contract. So I thought I'm going to focus on 2 contracts and just make better choices. So I took that trade. It seemed to fit nice there. As soon as I got in it, I realised I shouldn't have done because of this. So I've still got some of that frustration around my head a little bit at the moment. So as that went against me, I got frustrated. And I doubled up to 4 contracts. You know what it's like. We've all been there. Fortunately, it went in my favour. So I've now got a choice to make. I either need to do this properly or I need to just walk away, which I don't want to do. But it is hard and it is frustrated. Let's have a look at the comments. Say time, but you got the screen date. Yeah, are you muted? Back on old habits, Rika and Rugby. Yeah, I seem to do okay for a period of time. When I seem to get money in an account, I seem to get very protective over it. But when I had that new account and there was hardly anything in there, I took a stupid risk to try and give myself a bit of a head start, which I've done before, and I shouldn't bloody do it, and I know I shouldn't do it. But you know what it's like. wasting money on multiple accounts. Yeah, the trouble is losing one account. If you lose one account, it's not the end of the world, is it? But if you lose 5 accounts, I mean, God knows how the hell Paul Wilson managed when he lost 20 accounts. I mean, I think I'll be throwing myself out the bedroom window, I think. But I'm thinking now I need to scale this right back down and try and be a bit particular. So I'm forgetting doing multiple accounts. I'm going to do one account and I'm going to trade that. Now, I can safely say I can't remember a time where I've blown an account taking proper trades. It's always been when I've gone on tilt. I can't remember blowing an account. And how many times can you say, you know, you guys, that you've blown an account by taking what you believe to be genuinely good trades? I bet not many can. So it can be done. I know I can do it. I just need to get out of that frame of mind. So I need now to try and just focus on a trade a day, nothing more. But then I took that one and that, I don't know. I think it's still a little bit, it is, mate. Yeah, you're not wrong. How you doing, Chris? It is. Jay, agree. There's nothing to do with contracts. It's not really. Has to do with what happens after. But yeah, I mean, in all fairness, let's say, for instance, an average trade at the moment, ATR is low, so an average trade is just over 2. Let's say just over 2.5 points. No, 2 points. So let's say, for argument, let's bump it up a bit. Let's say the average trade loses you $275, including fees. You've got to lose 8 trades in a row to blow a 50k count. Now, if you're losing 8 trades in a row from taking genuine trades, you're clearly not, you're clearly not ready, are you? Something's not wrong. One and done. Now, did you say something like that to me the other day, Bud? Did you? Because someone else mentioned that one and done. Yeah, it was you, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. Because you changed it. You put one as in O-N-E and then changed it to one and done. I like that. I think that's a good. Now, I remember a guy called Joe, his name was. Now, he phoned me up about a year or so ago. And he said, I've seen you doing the same sort of thing as I see me doing. And he said, how I combated that is I just allowed myself to take one trade a day. Win or lose. That way you never lose more than, say, $300 or whatever. There is a possible second entry short there. We seem to be touching here. It's a possibility. I prefer the bar to be a little bit better. It is a little bit sideways, so I'm going to leave that alone. If I keep talking, I don't do anything silly. So that, to me, is a little bit sideways. So taking that for me is probably a bit risky. Because that might be an overshoot. I don't know. So I'm going to leave that for now. And he said to me, I take one trade a day, that's it. And I walk away or go onto a sim if it happens in the first 10 minutes. And I follow those rules. And that helped him with his discipline because he had a fixed amount to do. And Kev mentioned that yesterday, and it stuck in my head a bit. And I thought, actually, it's good policy. And Joe said what he found is when he knew he could only trade one trade a day, his trade choice got better. He got stricter because he wanted that one trade to be worth something. So I think that's what I'm going to do from tomorrow. Take one trade. And if I take that one trade in the first hour and a half, then I'm going to finish. If I take it in the first hour, then I'm going to go on to a sim for an hour because I think screen time's still important as well. So if it happens in the first hour and a half or up to an hour and a half, I'll finish. If it happens under hour and a half, I'll continue on a sim because obviously screen time. Sometimes it's good to take away the risk and just sit and watch the charts for a day. I'm way more patient when I have only one. Yeah, I'm going to do that from now. That's a good plan. That is. That way you're never going to lose more than 275, and that's trading on 2 contracts. Because I think sometimes one contract, it seems to take forever, and I know, we shouldn't have the attitude that, I want to speed it up a bit, but I really don't think the contract size, I mean, within reason, is so much my issue. Because if I can go on tilt on one contract, I can go on tilt on 5 contracts. My rule might be to keep trading until you take one loss. Why take yourself out of the zone? I know what you're saying, bud, but what I'll say to that is if you can average one, if you know you can only take one trade and that is your limit for the day, I think you make better choices, and I think you're more likely to make that trade a winning trade. So that's why I like it, and it gives you some discipline to work with. So, you know, I walk away, because some of my problems is walking away. Now, I posted a quick video on the Facebook group yesterday. There's a guy I watch, an Asian guy. I think he's Indian or Asian guy or something. And he's a good trader, and he makes some really good videos. And he said he had exactly the same problem. He would come back later in the day, and he would go, he'd finish for the day, and he'd come back, and he'd be itching to come back, and he'd say, I'm just going to watch the market. I'm not going to do anything. And before you know it, your head starts to make up scenarios, and you're in a trade and you're down. I'll show you, Robin. I'll get it for you, because I think it's important to look at these. If you find someone that gives you some really useful information, I'll drag it on and you can listen to it. Where is he? Let's look at my history. Now, this guy makes some money, and I know he does. Let's have a look. Let's go on my history. Excuse me just a second. Sorry about that. No, it's not Michael Gin. No. I can't find it. I'll just dig it on Facebook. It's on here. Because I like what he had to say, actually, and he did it. When you see these, that's the guy there. Yeah, okay. So let's bring that on. Now it should play, hopefully. Okay,
now, what I used to do early on in my trading career is I would randomly come back to my trading computer at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., just throughout the day. If I have nothing going on, I would just come back and I would just start watching the markets, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to take a trade. I'm just going to watch. Obviously, when we watch, we mentally create these opportunities in the market. Like, oh my God, this is going to go up. Let me take a quick trade. Let me take a quick trade here. Let me take a quick trade there. As I start taking these quick trades, the next thing you know, I'm down a couple of grand. And it just never really works out. So now I have a cutoff time that I will be trading from this time to that time. After that time, I am walking away and calling it a day. Now, what I used to do early on.
Okay, I hope you could all hear that. Let's just get rid of that. I like what he has to say. He makes, look him up. Just go into the Facebook group and click and look him up. But he has some really interesting videos, and he's been there and done it all himself. And I like it when experienced traders let you in a little bit what they went through. I like that. I wish Mac could talk about, the struggles he had, but you never hear him talk about something like that. And when people do, I kind of like it. Makes you feel good. Okay, so we've got a leg down. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. I'm not sure at the moment anyway. So at least because of that trade, and I held on to that one, I managed to get up by $400. So I consider myself lucky from that. High impact news in 5. Is there? Not according to mine. What do you know that we don't, Kev? All I've got is the NFP, which was 1:15 UK time. So not sure. Do you know if Daniel and Marco ever struggled with tilt? I would have said definitely. I remember. Oh, it's CAD, is it? Okay. Okay. Canadian dollar, I'm assuming, isn't it? Yeah, I only tend to have US. I think Max said just US, but yeah, leg down. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. That's probably coming down, I think. What was I saying? Yeah, I remember putting something on here on the Facebook group about revenge trading, and this guy come on and give some really good advice. And after a while, I ended up deleting it because sometimes they go on and on and on. And so I deleted it. And Marco said, oh, why'd you delete that? There was something I really wanted. So I think he's had his fair share of struggles as well. In all honesty, I'll be surprised if I think everybody has. I think it's part of the journey. Everything I've ever... I mean, if you read what's its book? Mark Douglas's book. He used to go around to these big institutions and work with their traders. So even the guys that have, been snapped up by these investment banks and taught to trade, you can teach someone to trade, but you can't teach someone to deal with you can show someone how to trade, do this, don't do this. But it's not that easy with the psychological side of it, because we're human beings and we're not really best designed to be able to deal with stuff like that. And it's something you really have to go through. Everything I've ever read tells me that exact same thing. So it's all part of a journey you sort of have to go on. And that's why I believe so many people give up, because, when you get battered, from post to post, at some point, it depends what your sort of staying power is. At some point, people walk away and think, I just can't do this anymore. It's either costing too much money, they haven't got the dedication, or they've just, it affects them too much. But I absolutely get that. It's not for everyone. I have my limits, but I've always been the type of person, if I want something bad enough, I'll figure out a way of getting it. But I actually look at something on, we all know Sam, don't we? He's a trader buddy of ours from 5Trader. I looked on his website, and I've seen this before, and there was a diagram on there which actually makes sense. So I'm going to quickly find it for you. Where is he? So he is trading now. So can I just turn his volume off? So I don't. Yeah. Okay. I like Sam. He's a nice guy. He's always given me good help and advice and bit of support when I've needed it. So I'm just going to show you something on his website. 5trader.com he is, by the way. He's a good guy, Sam is. Let me have a look. It's under the cycle. Now, I've seen this diagram before, so I'm just going to drag it in. He won't mind. Bit of advertising. I've seen this diagram before. It's the journey of a trader, basically. So we start, we get a few wins and think, yeah, we've cracked it. We throw a load of money in, and that happens. And then you spend a period of time where basically the real journey begins. Up, down, bit of profit, bit of lost profit. And then you get to the stage, quit or continue. You start to ask yourself, what am I doing here? Is this, let's just drag out of the way, price. Is this something that's going to continue? I'm ever going to get anywhere? And something starts to change when I think you ask yourself, what do I do now? And then obviously you get to the stage where it starts to work, and then you break even, and then success. But this is a journey all traders apparently go on, and it's to do with the human mind, how the human brain is designed compared to trading. And this stuff like this has come with studies and all that sort of stuff. But I like that. I've seen it before, but I can't remember where I saw it. But I think it's useful to say that, because it's not, you start making money. It's not. There's a lot of low points, in your career before eventually things start to change. And if you stick at it and keep trying, let's have a look. Might be why it's flat out now. Did you see that right? Did you? Yeah. So basically it is a real journey, and there are points where you start to think, am I ever going to be able to I remember when it happened the other night, and I remember going downstairs with a double scotch in my hand, and I said to my wife, I don't know whether this is something I'm going to be able to do. I don't know whether I'm sort of strong enough in the mind and stuff like that. Am I sort of, enough in control of my self-control? And I think it's probably normal people ask that. But, after I sobered up the following day, I thought I'll have a day off. And then it tends to fall away, and I tend to think, okay, yeah, I can do this. It is something. I know it's hard. It does take time. But, if you stick with it, I believe your rewards will come. So, it's important to look at that chart and just to realise, what's happening to you and what we're going through. Excuse me 1 second, I've just got to pick a parcel up. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we've got this leg down there. It's one attempt to go high, second attempt to go high. As that pushed through the EMA, I don't think that was a bad area for a penguin trade anyway. So down it comes anyway. So there's no volume. Can you hear me or not? Oh yes, you can. Okay. Okay, so there's no... oh, right, okay, yeah, loud and clear, excellent, okay. So it's useful, that, I think, to see that, and to see, you know, what we all go through, and we all do, I'm assuming we all do anyway. It's useful just to see that, you know, it's not all roses, it takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of that rough bit down the bottom. And, you know, asking those questions, do I carry on? What do I do? You know what I mean? I mean, when's enough? Do you just keep going? See, that's a possibility. Down, we got 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. That works. So I don't think that's that bad, actually. Leg down. So, yeah, it's tough. And it's tough when that thing... I can barely remember it even happening. And it all led from that stupid decision to try and get a bit of a boost on my new account. Now, another thing, that guy I shown you a while ago, that Asian guy, I should get his name really, there's another video he got that says about following the rules. It's never okay to break the rules. You break the rules once every 6 months, you're going to blow your account. It's a matter of time. It may take you 6 months. It may take you 12 months. Whenever I've broken the rules, I'll get away with it so many times, but then sooner or later, it'll catch me up. You can't. So what I need to do, when I say break the rules, I mean not take a trade that might be a poor trade because, you know, I made a mistake. That's fine, but rules that you put in place, like when I close up. So I'm going to start shutting shop now at 5:30, say 5:45 UK time, and I'm not going to come back. That is a rule I stick to. 2 contracts, no more. That's a rule I stick to. Maybe just say 1 trade a day. That's a rule I stick to. But set you rules in the cold light of day, you know, when you're not frustrated or angry or whatever, and then stick to the rules and do not break them for nothing. And I think it's important to do that, and he talks about that as well. You have to follow the rules. As soon as you break the rules, even once, you'll do it again, and it's just a matter of time. So I think it's see, a problem came when you increase contacts. Yeah, I don't know if going for 2 contracts is a good idea, but you'll see quickly enough what works. Yeah, I have and ahed about that. I asked a few people the other day what they thought 1 contract, 2 contracts, and a few people said stick to 1. A couple said 2's okay, but it's not. I don't think there's contract size that seems to put me on tilt. It's when I take a stupid risk and go for more. And what I did, because I missed out on that short because my internet died, when I came back on my new account that was only about $200, I went for 4 contracts. I just bought twice and took a stupid risk. and that's what caused me to go on tilt. So I broke a rule. I did something I shouldn't have done. So it wasn't necessarily, 2 contracts, 1 contract. I went for 4 or 5, I think it was, just to try and get a quick move and make a quick $500 in it, and it went against me. There is a possible second entry short there. So we've got a leg down sideways and a leg down. That's probably not a bad trade, actually.
Order submitted.
See if it comes back and get me. It is a second entry short. Leg down, leg down. I'll chase it a little bit, but no
Order
more.
filled.
Okay. So I want to get out before the lows here. Oh dear. Let's get out for break even here. Oh, that came down and shot me quick. Wow. I didn't expect that. I'm going to get out for break even.
Target filled.
Yeah, okay. I had no place in that trade, really. Although it did work. Just the way it came back really quick. It is a second entry short off the key entry point. It looks like it's working anyway, but I did say I was just going to do 1 trade a day, so yeah, it's probably going to work. See, I'm breaking my rules already. Yeah, it's going to work. I'd have got out before these bottoms. I like the trade, actually. I think it's okay. I'd have got out, say, for a 1.5. Yeah, I think it's going to work, to be fair. When something just comes back to you that quick. And I'm thinking I've done it again, haven't I? So, okay, I think you did the right thing after that quick move up. Yeah, I actually like it. We're touching a few times here. We've touched here, we've touched here, we've touched here. And it does look like a leg down, sidewards, followed by a leg down. And after a push like that, 2 legs back up to the EMA, you would think that would work. I actually don't think it's a bad trade, but it's clearly not working, so I've clearly misjudged something. Let's think about this. So we've got 2 pushes up to the EMA. It is a second entry short. Anyway, I got out for break even, so I can consider myself lucky there. Okay, leg back. That's probably the one, I think, if that comes bearish. Unless I haven't got this right. I actually don't think that's that bad, but okay, I'll tell you what, if I've got that channel like that, that is an indicator that all's not well. It only came back 2/3 of the way. Okay, I think the channel's okay. We're touching in multiple places, but we came right to this side and touched that a bunch of times. Now we came down now, we didn't get down that far, so that tells me something's amiss here. And also... maybe it's a failure. I actually kind of like that channel. Anybody else got their channel like that? Halo, how you doing, buddy? Anybody else got their channel like that? I don't think it's that bad, but the fact it's only come down so far, mind you, 2 legs back, it could come right down here. Yeah, well, let's have it. Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't work, actually. And the penguin as well. So why didn't that work? Okay, 1 leg up, 2 legs up. Same. I mean, it was 2 legs up, that 1 leg, 2 leg. How far did it come down? Did it do a point? You wouldn't even have squeezed a point, would you? 2 legs. I'd have thought that would have worked, in all fairness. I'm surprised it didn't. So, something mustn't be right for me to get that, unless it's more of a range and effect, unless people have traded it as a failed breakout. It's not often I can't tell why something didn't work, but we pushed down, we went sideways, hit that point, hit it again, and then just dropped quickly. So we had one leg back, a second leg back. I mean, I usually like that to tick above there. Got my win today. Time to go outside and play good on you. You take it easy, mate. Yeah, I usually like for that to tick above there. And it didn't. So that's unusual, that. Only one PA today. Yes, mate. Yeah, I had my internet went down the other day and I missed a trade and I was a bit frustrated with one of my newer accounts. I took a silly risk to try and get a bit of a boost and it went against me and I ended up just going like that, spiraling frustratingly enough. So I've just decided to stick to just the one. I had one due to come in today. I just decided just to stick to the one now. So really, I mean, for my point of view, I haven't really got any business trading multiple accounts until I can get one to work. I should just focus on one. So, say no more, time to move on. Yeah, it happens, doesn't it? It's not the first time. It's happened before, but you just got to try and pick yourself up and make better decisions. But what I need to do is follow the rules 100%. I am surprised that didn't work. It does look like a channel. We had a touch. Touched a few times there, then touched here, then touched there, then touched here. We had a push down, 2 legs back to the email. I thought that one would have worked. It wouldn't have even made a point. I think it would have been better if that one would have ticked above there and maybe triggered that long. Let me just get rid of this, see if that looks any different. Leg. Maybe it's just 2 legs and not necessarily a channel. That can come down a bit. In fact, let's forget it. Down, sideways, break. Small channel up. We're still in play. Here, well, to me, after this, it looked like one push-up. We came back down and had a second push-up. So it's definitely, by the count, it's clearly a second entry short. And then we go sideways and push up. Be interesting to see what other people think of that later. I mean, obviously, we didn't have these then. It was just one push-up, 2 push-up. It was the second entry short. It was off the key entry point. I'm just thinking, actually, if we've just had a push down, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. There's a channel down with an overshoot, isn't there? And we're going sideways. Leg down. I think that was more of a failed break out of this range, because if you look now, it's been treated as a range, isn't it? So I've just misjudged that one. I'm not sure whether that channel is valid, really. Let's have another look at it. Yeah, it may just be a little bit of a coincidence, which is 50. So I think that is just a failed breakout the range. It's just one of those ones that catches you out a little bit. In all honesty, there's not many trades I see now that I don't know why they went wrong. But I think that's just probably one of those things that more people are treating it as a failed breakout of a range. And now we've got this at the top. That makes sense. Often when we get a breakout at the bottom, we'll get one the opposite side. Let's see if we can work out what this day is doing. I think for the most part, it's probably doing something like that, push up. Yeah, I think it's more of a range. I think that's more just a leg and a leg and a I've just misjudged that. Luckily, I managed to get out break even, so something just didn't seem right. I thought that one would have worked beautifully, but small channel was up in play. See, I can't see anything there really, apart from a leg, then down and another leg. Don't get me wrong, in most cases I like that to tick above there, and if it ticks above there and does come down, it's got more chance of pushing down and taking out longs. But I think, I mean, the way this is happening, the way this is pushed up and bounced here a couple of times, well, 1, 2, 3, I think traders are treating that as a range, and in all fairness, we've got 3 touches there and a bunch of touches at the bottom. What happens when most breakouts fail? And that's, I've just been caught out in that. Yeah, I think it's no more complicated than that, really. Most breakouts fail. Leg and a leg, maybe a lower high there. I think I'm not taking any more trades for the day. I think I'm going to count my lucky stars that I'm up as much as I am. And just consider myself a bit fortunate. Oh, this business of trading is frustrating, isn't it? Trade sim. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea, actually, mate. I'm just going to stay out. I'm just going to stay out. I'm not going to check. What time is it now? How long have we been going? I'm just going to give it an hour, I think. Yeah, it does take time, John, doesn't it? Sometimes things can throw you a bit. I wish we weren't emotional beings, but we are, really. It's very hard to get out of that frame of mind, isn't it? I trade ES Power Hour yesterday. It was miserable. 40 minutes, 2-point trade. It's a funny old business trading, isn't it? I wonder if it ever gets to the stage where it's just like a normal job. It doesn't stress you anymore, or is it a case of it's always going to be tough? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Leg up, 2 legs back. Ooh, that's looking tempting. So we got a leg up, leg back. There. Yeah, it's always. Do you know what I'm seeing here? So we got like a leg up, 2 legs back. I don't know. Yeah. In fact, someone said, I forget who it was now, someone said to me, trading the ES is one of the hardest ones to trade. I don't know how true that is. I don't see how it can be. I don't see how it can be any different. I mean, really, what moves these? It's human behaviour, isn't it? What are human beings thinking? You would think one chart really would trade very similar to the next, but a lot of people say the NQ trades very differently. There's a lot, quicker moves, so I don't understand what. But Mac does say that pure price action does work exactly the same on any chart. So who knows? Who knows? Yeah, someone else took that. It is like a penguin style, 2 legs up. We've got this leg down, 2 legs up. Does look like 2 legs, doesn't it? But it does seem to be just turning into a range day, I think. Robin, quick question. How do you know the penguin was looking at something? I get emails from him, but I wish that guy'd show you himself trading. I wish he'd trade live or something like that. I'd love to listen to his thought process. It just seems that the people that make the money, or a lot, decent amount of money, and really good at it, don't seem to want to stream, do they? I don't know. Yeah, no, I get emails as well. Let me have a look. I do get emails. 301 was the one. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, there is. Yeah. 2 legs down. Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah. He is good, actually. I do like him. I think he's very good. He's very technical. Have you really? Yeah, I don't know why people don't. Or even, I mean, you don't necessarily have to sort of, do what I do and chit chat. You can just sort of let people watch you, I suppose. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Yes, it's not for everybody. It's not for everyone. Some people, I suppose, feel better focusing. I'm quite a vocal person. I more talk out aloud my thoughts. My thought process is very much vocal rather than quiet and goes on. So I think it works for me. I definitely do less stupid things when I'm streaming. But yeah, as I say, what I'm going to do after today, I'm not going to take any more trades now, regardless. I'm just going to chat for another 30 minutes or so. But when I come back tomorrow, I'm just going to focus on the one trade. Now, if I do that one trade before, in say an hour and a half or later, I'll finish the stream. But if it's less than an hour and a half, I'll do, because I like to do a couple of hours. And I'll just go onto a sim, because I think it's still valuable to have screen time. And I think sometimes it's useful to take away any type of risk for the day and just trade it on a sim, because there's no stress. And, maybe just observe things. You might see things in a different light. Who knows? So I think, if I do under an hour and a half, I'll just chat, go onto a sim. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, the more you do this, the more you realise screen time. Oh, crikey, big drop. The more you realise screen time makes a big difference. Overshoot, bullish bar, that would probably work, I'd say, at least for a couple of points. However, I'm not getting in. I'm staying out of it. As I say, I've done mine, so I need to at least follow those rules. But I would expect that to at least get a couple of points, because it's broke below there and there's an overshoot as well. But I'm out of it. I never tend to pick bottoms and tops because I'm crap at it. That's another thing I'm stopping as well. Picking tops and bottoms, because you'd expect that to work, wouldn't you? But look, it hasn't. So I'm assuming after this push up and this couple of drops back, there was some quite bullish bars there. I'd say there was probably a few stops here. We got initial push up, 2 legs. After this, you maybe think we're going higher. I know crypto's been pumping like crazy, haven't they? I think Bitcoin's at 44,000. Surprise, yeah, it is 44,000. Amazing that. And 7 days, it's gone up 17%. And 30 days, gone up 25%. Unbelievable, isn't it? So I wonder if those affect these. Because if you've got money in the S&P, maybe you drag some of it out and put it into cryptos. I'm just wondering whether that affects this in any way. Okay, excuse me. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Won't be a second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, yeah, it's definitely getting a bit choppy, that. In fact, that might have just been a break, actually. Let's have a look. Do we have it there, wasn't it? Yeah, it just might have been a break. It didn't push down very far. So, but it might have been partly because of this. There was probably some trading that as a range. I mean, 1, 2, 3. In fact, that was probably a nice triple test, wasn't it? The way it pushed out the bottom as well. We came down, went up once, twice, 3 times. So yeah, it's I got a bit mixed feelings about that. I'm just going to get rid of it for now, because it might have been this with an overshoot and then just a bit sideways with a failed breakout, because it failed out the bottom and then failed out the top. So let's put that from there to there. That fits there. So leg. There's a bigger range here, isn't there? Obviously, we can see it here. So is that going to bounce off there and come down, or is it going to push back in? It does look like a leg and a leg. But as we know, most breakouts fail. But yeah, I mean, if I do my one trade from now on, or from tomorrow onwards, and I do it early, I'll just go on a sim for a bit. But I like to do at least an hour and a half anyway, a couple of hours, say, because I think it's useful. Have you checked out financial free trading on YouTube? I think he is easy to follow than Penguin. Penguin stuff is a bit subjective. Guy trades like you and me. Let me take a photo of that, Robin. Okay, so there's that's probably not a bad trade there, I don't think. It's bounced twice off here. But as I say, I'm not taking it. See, ordinarily you would think something like that would work, but that's not looking very nice, is it? Let me just take a quick picture of that, Robin. There's my camera. Have you ever tried financial free trading? Okay. I took a photo of that. I'll have a look at that later. We've got a channel down there and a break. Most breakouts fail, so it's probably not advisable to trade that, but I can see why it's tempting sometimes. It's almost like a hidden second entry short, that, isn't it? And it has broke below there. It's struggled to get below there, but it is a failed breakout. Well, it is a breakout the range, so as we know, most breakouts fail, so it's probably not prudent to take that. But I bet there will be traders in there. So yeah, I think this is very much a range day, isn't it, at the moment? Yeah, I've just seen someone on the Discord saying they nearly took that short. I can understand why people would take it. But as we know, well, from here, I got caught out there. Luckily, I got out break even. Most breakouts fail. And in all honesty, it's clearly ranging in there, isn't it? It's touching multiple. In fact, ranges don't generally look any better than that, do they? They're about as good as... How many times do we see ranges where it's cutting exactly the same place every time? Top and bottom. I almost went short the EMA, was waiting for lower high. Yeah, I think the sensible thing to do is... if you're not sure about that, wait for the lower high, because if there is a lower high, chances are then it is going down. But it's why trading's so difficult, because there's so many different scenarios. You know, there is a possibility it could have just come down, but I think something I tend to... I mean, I was more focused on the down thing, but I think you had to be aware, and I didn't pay enough attention to that it's clearly ranging, and as we know, most breakouts fail. That one failed, that one failed, that one failed. So it just goes to show, really, isn't it? You know, if we do have something like this and it breaks out, wait for the lower high. The lower high is a good indication that, yeah, we're going to go lower. So it's about making those good decisions, isn't it? But it comes with time and practice, and lower high, higher low, signs of a second. Yeah, absolutely agree. But it's sometimes because sort of this type of style of trading is very, very quick. You don't always have a lot of time to think, and it's very easy to slip up. And I think the more you do it, the more that brain, you know, I don't know if you guys in the US, I know we use a right foot to brake here. You ever try braking with your left foot in a car? It's near damn impossible. You come to a grinding halt, and it just goes to show how finely tuned that right foot is over, you know, the years and months and years and that of driving. And it's amazing, really, that, you know, if you're driving down the road and someone pulls out in front of you, everything just takes over. Your foot just hits it exactly right. It's finely tuned. You don't slide all over the road. It's amazing how finely tuned, and that's just experience. It's just that muscle memory, and it's the same for whatever job you do. The more you do it, the better you get at it. You can't help but not get better at it. And the more we see these, the more you get caught, the more you'll just avoid these areas. But yeah, most breakouts fail. Clearly range in there. We've seen it once there, twice there, and that one of the bigger range. It's obviously, there's some bottom in there, isn't there? And here, you can see it a couple of times here and there. So that might have been a good indication not to take that short, and rightly so. And the same there as well. I took that short, and that trapped me. Fortunately, I managed to have a bit of luck there, and I got out for break even. Yeah, fell breakout. And it seems for some reason, whenever I trade a fail breakout, I tend to lose it. I don't know how it works. Okay, so I've had a bit of luck today, and I've learnt my lesson. I took that trade. I shouldn't have done, really. There wasn't much room to the highs. I was still a bit flustered about the other day. You never take breakouts. No, I don't know. I'm not very good at picking tops. It's one of my weaker points. And I think, really, if you wait for those where it starts to move and you get a nice higher low, those ones I like. You know, maybe we got that leg up, 2 legs back. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. My daughter's just baffling one of the dogs and he's running around like crazy. Where was I? No, I don't know why. I'm not very good at picking tops. Whenever I don't pick it, they seem to work. Whenever I pick it, I seem to have no luck at it. It's possible second entry long there. It is a little bit congested, but if it breaks out and pushes long... Yeah, I think that's a good idea, bud. You know, stick to what you're good at and what's working. We all know nice second entries, and I actually think higher lows are more effective than anything. But yeah, and avoid picking bottoms. I know somebody told me that. Who's the guy on the on Mac's website? Is it Vlad? He only picks a certain amount of trade. He doesn't pick tops or bottoms, I believe. I think he just takes second entries, higher lows, failures, and I believe triple tests, and he stays away from you know, picking tops. Let's see if this works. We've pushed up and we've tested this a few times, and it is a second entry long. We have pulled in from a fail breakout, but it is a little bit congested. But someone said to me, you can trade congestion as long as you know what you're doing. So it is a bit congested, but it's clearly a couple of pullbacks. What are your... Oh, sorry. So it was quite a small risk, that, actually. What was the risk? So look, so if you do a tick above, tick below, let's say 2-point risk. So if you went a tick above, do you know what I don't get? That looks smaller than the gap from there to the top of there, but it's not. Let's see if that holds. I trade overflow. So delta combination. Yeah. I do hear a lot of more professional traders saying they tend to use overflow and data and delta and stuff like that. So is that going to work? I'd expect so. It is a bit rangy, but we're pushing up sideways. I expect to push up again. So I'd say that would probably hold. Mind you, in all fairness, if you're going to take that, probably the best idea would be to get out before the highs. So if you got out, I don't know, maybe for a point and a quarter, you'd have got that. You'd have got a 1.5, but there's a higher low there, so that is probably going to take us up, I'd say. Ordinarily, I'd take that. Second entry long, higher low, but it is congested. But it does look like a bull flag. Push up, sideways, push up. And it has triggered. But obviously when it's congested, it can change the dynamics a little bit. But let's see if it does hold. But it is higher low. It is a second entry long and a higher low, but you'd have to respect the fact that it's a range and sometimes it can just stitch you up. So these are the type of trades I want to rule out. I've taken them in the past. I mean, to me, I can see 2 legs and that one. So yeah, for a point. And it is a higher low, but you haven't got no room to the highs. And I'd say it's probably going to work, but it's unsafe to take, really. But I do expect the market to come up for another leg. But whether it'll stitch that one up first before it will, let's have a look. So I'd say that's where I'd expect it to come to. If we can get above there, I'd be confident that would work. But yeah, it's quite popular, order flow, isn't it? I see a lot of people on YouTube using order flow. It just looks so damn complicated. Perhaps I should look into it just out of curiosity. So let's see if that stop would have held. Try to get it filled on that gas. Let's see if that one would have got stopped out. I think that would probably be the safest stop there, 2 legs back. But in all fairness, if you did take out that, it would make sense to get out there really, or maybe just to take a quick point. But I need to stick to my rules tomorrow. 1 trade. That's it. 1 and done. If it happens quickly, I'll go on to a sim, but whether it's a win or a loss, and I think if you stick to that rules, it just helps your discipline, doesn't it? And it's a lot about self-control trading, isn't it? It's massively about self-control. So if you can't follow rules, you're going to try and stick to them. So my rule tomorrow is to take 1 trade maximum. 1 and done, and I think you take better choices when you do that. A few people have said that to me now. Kev, who was in here earlier, a guy called Joe, who I had a conversation with probably 12 months ago on the phone. It's a lot about self-control. So I think, by me saying I'm going to stick to 1, I'm setting the rules, and I need to follow them. Even if it's a loss. Part of the hardest thing I find sometimes is when it is walking away at the end of the day with a loss. But it's part of it, and it's always going to happen from time to time. You would obviously expect it to be the latter, but it is going to happen. You are going to have days where something's going to go wrong, whether you've made a mistake or for whatever reason. Sometimes you're going to walk away on red, and you have to be okay with that. I've heard the expression "you need to be a good loser" quite a few times now in various books and things, and it's absolutely right. You need to be very good at losing. You need to be able to deal with losing. So I did download that book, Best Loser Wins, probably 6 months ago, but I kept falling asleep at night. But I'm going to log back into it and I'll read it again. So we've got a leg back, 1 attempt to go higher. You could do 1 or 2 things here, either drop or push up and trap that short. 1, 2, 3. You may say triple test, but it's just congested, so it could go either way, really. There's a failed second entry long there, so that's triggered, so that might trap some shorts and shoot up. There's probably going to be some longs in there, 2 legs back, so it could go either way, yeah. It does look like it's trying to push down, and if it does go down past there and there, but I still like to see it push up. Losses happen. I have like 75%. Yeah, that's not a bad rate at all, that, mate, I don't think. But yeah, if you can't deal with the losses and walk away, well, it's something you have to do to be a successful trader. Otherwise, you're just a ticking bomb all the time, aren't you? And it's something I've struggled with myself. Why I think me setting myself 1 trade a day will mean that my max, at the moment, the ATR is 1.7. So let's say 2.25 points is my maximum loss, and on 2 contracts, $225. It's not a lot at all. So that's why I kind of think it makes sense just to do 1 trade a day. And if I know I've only got 1 trade today, hopefully I'll sit and wait and make a better choice. Because you're much better take no trades in a day than take a loss, because once you've taken that loss, you've now got to do 1 extra trade just to get back to break even. And you may have to do 1 and a bit trades. And there's nothing more frustrating than coming back from that by making a poor choice. So it's just dangerous to trade this, isn't it? What time is it? In fact, I'm going to knock it on the head, folks, actually. What time is it? It's 3:45. See, I'm up nicely today. I got off. I was a bit lucky earlier. I took that trade. Just ended up frustrating. I managed to get in there and get lucky, and get myself out of the shit, basically. So I'm going to go ahead and finish now. Just clear my head. Come back tomorrow stick to a plan, and have a nice session tomorrow. So I'm going to knock it on the head there. I'm going to go and spend a bit of time. We got some present wrapping to do, and I'm going to, mate. Yeah, anytime, mate. I enjoy doing it. It's good for me. Hopefully, if it helps you guys, it's win-win. But you guys are like my colleagues, my trader colleagues. I spend more time with you guys than I do my wife. Now some may argue that's not a bad thing, but there you go. So a little bit of luck got me out of trouble there, so I need to put that down as my one lucky life, and let's come back fresh tomorrow. Present wrapping, well, I tend to not do the wrapping. I just tend to use my finger and hold it where everyone does it. But we decided for the first time this year, because we were always panicking right up to Christmas Eve, and there's nothing worse than stress, Christmas Day, and bang, you're on your arse. So we said we'd get it all wrapped and delivered a week before Christmas, so we can sit down in the evening, have a nice drink, watch some Christmas TV and relax. Because it's just stressful otherwise. If you're leaving it all till the last minute, you're running around like a blue-ass fly, aren't you? Driving everywhere. So we're gonna get it all done nice and early. So we got a few parcels come today, so we're gonna get them wrapped anyway. So right, I appreciate your comments, guys. I appreciate your support. As you know, I had a rough sort of couple of days, but it happens to us all. But you just got to try and brush yourself up. But I always get some good, solid comments from you guys and some good support. And I like to try and give it back, because I think it's about helping each other and supporting each other, because it's a tough business, especially in those early few years. So I wish you luck. I hope you get a decent setup. I hope something comes up. It's a bit frustrating, but hopefully, I'm just wondering whether we are starting to maybe work down now. I don't know, but I'm going to leave you to it. Hopefully you get a setup. So best of luck. Failing that, I will see you tomorrow. So stay safe, have a great evening and a great day, and I'll catch up with you all same time tomorrow. Bye for now.